That's the highest state of wealth. Paul Sykes. West Paul Sykes, multimillionaire. How he is? Oh, all right. That's about all they get. We don't have town twinnies in this county. We have Barnsley, for instance, in a suicide pact with Kabul. They join suicide pacts with each other. Harrogate, I have to say, and now I've seen something of York, and it's changing situation, but Harrogate is the one exception. That's kind of Cheltenham North, really, Harrogate. In fact, I did think one time of going to live in Harrogate. I was walking across the street, a posh chap came past with his dog, and I thought, well, let's find out, is it an expensive place to live, Harrogate? It clearly is. I said, it's a nice place to live. He said, oh, it's a lovely place to live. I said, what about the rates? He said, rates? No rates in Harrogate. A few beasts, perhaps. No rates. The one crime in Yorkshire is upping self-ism. I know that this sounds very difficult anatomically, but that's what you must not be. Never be up yourself. The highest euphoria is, I can't complain. And when T.S. Eliot wrote, I think this is in The Waste Land, on whom assurance sits like the silk top hat on a Bradford millionaire, it was clear he'd never been to Bradford. They all wear flat hats, Bradford millionaires, and they never confess to being millionaires. They're just doing middling, thanks very much. Now, therefore, it's going to be a short and difficult talk for me, because ask yourselves at Yorkshire, what other part of the world would have a national anthem, and you get it on any tea towel in any Yorkshire shop, emblazoned across the tea towel, a national anthem which says, "Us will all avetten thee." I mean, this is cannibalism as a national anthem. You can't imagine singing that in Surrey. They might sing, "Thou owe us some money" in Surrey, but not "Us will all avetten thee." And, I think this is because Yorkshire people are kind of proud products of a very hard society, a hard industry, a hard life, a hard climate. See it outside today. You should all be very happy. It's so miserable. And it's raining and cold that you could be positively ecstatic. And that's what shapes Yorkshire humour. I have to say, it's also a product of Yorkshire history, though. In fact, not many of you may know this, but Yorkshire is, in fact, mentioned in the Bible. Baby Jesus in the manger, and I quote directly from the Bible, so it must be true. "And there came, bearing gifts, 3 wise men from the east riding on camels." Nor is it genuinely realised that what's mistakenly called the Roman Empire was in fact the Yorkshire Empire, and the Emperor Constantine was proclaimed in York, Constantine. The inventor of the one-way chariot system in York, which I was pleased to see as I tried to get here in the car, is still in existence in York. Yorkshire was then, and York was the capital, Yorkshire was then the centre of the world. And the Yorkshire, not only Yorkshire, but further north, was colonised by the Romans, colonists up the one side, at the east coast, right to Tweed, or to give its Latin name, Lentheric, and on the other side, as far north as Cockermouth, or to give it its Roman name, Fellatio, but that state of subjection to the Romans didn't last long, because then came our genuine ancestors. Most of them, of course, walked across the North Sea. It was cheaper that way. But 2 lots came on boats. Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons were led by their great king, Hypotenuse, he was made king because he knew all the Angles, and the Vikings. They came by boat too. The Angles brought with them their great national sport of looting, The Vikings brought their national sport of rape and pillage. Then came the Normans, and I see Norman had a house just outside. It says Norman's house, just in the yard there. Have a look as you go out. Normans with their national sport of Jus Primae Nocti, they called it. Now, all these three sports, rape, loot, pillage, Jus Primae Nocti, eventually merged in the fullness of time to form the Yorkshire national sport of rugby league. And they also brought with them not only a few surviving jokes, but all our place names. Because, for instance, the first thing they said when they arrived in Yorkshire, Eck, or in the case of the really enthusiastic, Bloody Eck, is commemorated now in lots of place names. We've got Heck, we've got Eckington, we've got Eckmondwike, all commemorated in the first words that were uttered when these people glimpsed Yorkshire. They brought with them the sheep, and that's given its name to a lot of other places. There's Shibden, Shipley, Sheepscar, and Dewsbury. And they brought with them the cow, commemorated in Uddersfield, and the Whippeters Magnus, commemorated by Wibsey, and finally the Backwaters Flying Duck, commemorated in Pudsey. It's now extinct, I'm afraid, but it was a unique sight when you saw these backward flying ducks flying over Pudsey. They brought with us much of our language. I was quite surprised when I went to Denmark a long time ago to cover one of their referendums, and across the road, the banner said, "Stemmer nej," and knew at once, vote no, nay, just the same as we'd say, nay, not no. Addle a living, laking. You've all heard of the Barnsley Lake District. There's so many people out of work, they called Barnsley the Lake District. Well, that word was clearly understood in Denmark. The population settled down, divided up into tribes. The mill workers' tribe in the West Riding, the dock workers' tribe on the coast, the no workers' tribe in other parts of the county. And it was a hard life they lived. A hard life because the north was terrorised by the south. William the Conqueror pillaged the north. Then came the Pilgrimage of Grace in the Tudor period, and finally came Mrs. Thatcher and the poll tax, all of them subjecting the north to these bitter attacks. And that kind of hard life gave us our humour and our jokes. All our jokes are about death, disease, dog dirt, diarrhea, some of them about dialect. I'll just give you a few samples to whet your appetite for more. I want to leave the hall shouting more, 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 these humours, because you'll all be in tears by that stage. Classic Yorkshire joke. Long street, terrace houses, so long it's receding into the mist. Chap in a flat hat, walking slowly down the street, long, long street. Gets to the end house, knocks on the door. Woman comes to the door, snivelling, handkerchief, weeping. Jack in? No, I'm sorry. Jack's dead. Dead, says the man in the flat hat, summoning up all that instinctive sympathy which comes to Yorkshire people. Dead. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that. Did he say out about a pot of paint? I'm sorry. Always grabs me, that one. There's varieties. He comes to the door, knocks. Woman comes to the door. Is Fred in? No. Dead. We sent him down to a vegetable patch to cut us a cabbage, and he fell on knife. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that. What did you do? We had to open a tin of peas.